Hey, what is up, guys? It is your boy Speed here, and today we're going to be trying to figure out and find some cards that we can get graded, because I'm sure, as a lot of you guys know, grading has become brutal. It's very hard to know what to grade, find cards to get graded at any sort of margin. And so in today's video, my goal is to show what I've been doing some research. I have some ideas on what I think you can get graded, maybe make some profit off of, and just enjoy the process while doing it. So yeah, we're going to be doing that. It should be a lot of fun. And I mentioned in my last two videos that after those two videos, I would pick the winner for this Yveltal card. And I did. I DM'd you in the YouTube comments. And so if you got my message, hit me up on Instagram and I'll send you the winning. Thank you everyone for, commenting. Just trying to join the giveaway. I really appreciate it. And obviously, as I've said multiple times, I'm trying to get this channel to 10,000 subscribers by the end of the year. So, doing giveaways and things like that, and you guys supporting the channel really helps a lot. But yeah, I can't wait to send that card to their new owner. It's like $150. I had a friend of mine send the exact same card, sell the exact same card on eBay for $150, which is really crazy. It's a lot of money. So do I feel bad about it? I mean, everyone's a little bit greedy, right? But no, I'm happy for it to go to one of you guys. But okay, let's get into the topic of the video. So I'm going to briefly go over this. I'm not covering this in full. This video is not information about the prices. I just want to quickly go over it. What I'm going to be looking for today is primarily this $25 option. After you buy a membership with CGC and you submit cards through it, it will actually go down to about $22 per card. And so as you can see, that's not too expensive for a 30-day turnaround time. Do I expect that turnaround time to go up? I do. I think a lot of people are going to look for this option as soon as possible, but there's that. I'm over these last few weeks, I've been doing research and just trying to figure out what I want to do for the future of flipping and grading, because I want to quickly show you guys this. You're going to resonate with this potentially if you've been submitting cards. I have a couple orders out. Number one, I sent one in December 16th. That's when it was received. So I sent it even before that. It's still in receive status. Which is just crazy. It's been 3 months. And when I sent it to them, it was supposed to take less than that. It is what it is. I'm not going to harp on that too much. I know they're backed up. I get it. But then, this is my pirate ship account. Thankfully, none of my info is on here. But as you can see, my package, this is a 300 card submission to CGC, so it's a lot of money for me, a lot of, grading expenses, and, a lot of just raw card expenses, was arrived on March 1st, and has yet to been put into the system, which is obviously very, very frustrating. It's very concerning, and I understand, as I said, they're backed up, but it just stinks. And so, yeah, the purpose of this video is hopefully to find ways to sort of get around this a little bit. And I think this $25 option is not too expensive. However, the cards you have to buy to make it worth it are a little bit expensive. So let's get into it. Yeah, all right. The main way we're going to be looking for cards here today, and I do have a couple I've already picked out and looked at, so don't worry, this isn't just going to be like an eBay hunt. This is, some of it will be, but a lot of it's going to be looking at cards that I've already picked out. So a couple that come to mind. Let's start off with one of them. This is one, for instance. So if we look at this here, it is a 10, but I'd like to go over why I think this is actually okay in a second. So this is a CGC Pristine 10, which means it got 3 10 subgrades. This person also did go for subgrades. I'm likely not going to, but that's just because I think it's an extra $7, something like that, 8. But yeah, it's a $300 or best offer, so I'm assuming it went for a little bit less. We'll have to check in a bit. But it's a 10, and it's for a promo Japanese card. For a little bit of context, you would get this card inside of a Japanese promo box guaranteed. I'll quickly show you that. And so you get this card every single time you buy this Japanese Charizard VMAX. Yeah, you can see I even looked it up beforehand. And you can see, you could buy one right now for $120. This is the deck. You can see you guaranteed get this card. It's actually an incredible looking box. The box alone is really, really cool. It almost seems like, just from an aesthetic standpoint, maybe an undervalued box. But you can see you can pick them up for around $80, $87-ish. And so, if you spend the time, you have good patience, make some offers, you can maybe pick up one of these boxes for $80 to $90, as you can see here. Now, you will see some examples where this card, in like a 9.5, for instance, sold for probably a lot less than $100, and so you're not necessarily going to make your money there. After grading fees, you would actually lose money. And so you do have to be careful. you do have to keep this in mind, and that is the purpose of this video, to show you that when you're doing your research, make sure you don't just look at one comp, because if I was to just look at one comp, which is this Charizard, I would say, oh, a 10. I can make like $100 off of this, but you have to get a 10. Let's say that kind of segues me into my next point, which is Japanese cards have much higher print quality, much better print quality, and are much more likely to get 10s than English cards. This is a bit of a side note, but I even do believe that there's a chance that just this idea in people's heads, even though it is the truth, the idea in people's heads that Japanese cards are a higher quality might get them a higher grade. You know, because when a human's grading it, if they have this idea in mind that, yeah, this is a Japanese card, it's going to have a good quality, they might be a little bit more lenient. Does that make sense? I don't know. It's just an idea I had, so... either way, the cards do have better print quality on average, and so there's that. All right, let's look at another card. I think there's some better options potentially. One in particular is the Skyla I have pulled up, but this is a good one to me. It is the CGC 10, Pristine 10, Phoebe? How do you even say that name? Phoebe? Sold for $232. It is, once again, a pristine 10, so you do have to pick up these 10s, but I gave my reasons beforehand why that's not that bad. But let's quickly take a look at the price of this card. Japanese Phoebe card. Should pop up. So yeah, as you can see, it's, well, this is only one comp. Let's look for a couple. But yeah, it's about a $20 card. Yeah, so you got about a $20 card here. 28, 26, 25, 24. So about a $20 card. You see what I'm saying? And then, where is it? This card sold. Sure, it's on bid, so maybe it was just a fortunate set of auction, but usually buy it now does better anyway. But yeah, it sold for $232. And my thing is, like, my thought process here is that if I buy the card for $20, I submit it for $25, and then obviously I have to take away all the fees and all that extra stuff as well when I'm selling the card through eBay. But if I submit in like 4 of these, the odds I get a 10, I would say, are like relatively high. And then the profit margin on a 10 is, let's say, about $110, $120 after eBay fees, right? Which is not bad. $110, $120, so you get that back. And then even if you pull 9.5s, I would imagine if the 10 is $200 or $232, that the 9.5 or a 9, and you're very likely to get 9.5s and 9s. You'll see a lot of them, right? This is the sold listings. To be fair, I do have it over 200. You know, I have eBay filtering it out so we can look at more expensive cards where, you know, you can make this option work. But I think there's potential here. That's all I'm trying to say. This is, once again, like, when I make these videos, I do want you guys to understand there's a lot of risk involved. It's not necessarily gambling because you're doing numbers, you have odds, and you can do the calculations and stuff like that. But yeah, I think this is a good option, for instance, right here. I think like these potential weeb cards that you can get at a 10, people will pay a premium for them. And CGC 10s look incredible. They do look really, really nice. But all right, let's keep going. Another one I was considering is this Marnie card. A lot of the Weeaboo cards, you know, like, there is just that demand for those cards in a 10, so absolutely keep your eye out. But here was one, actually both right back to back. I'll quickly look it up on 130 point, which I've already done, and let's quickly go over it. This is an English version on the top, so let's not look at that. But we have a 10, Skyla Pristine 10. That sold for $280. Okay, not bad. It does have subgrades though. But it's a 10, 10, 10, 9.5 with decent subgrades. Then you have an $180 card here, and that's a 9.5. I don't know if this person was fortunate, because I do feel like an $100 drop from a 10 to a 9.5, I would kind of expect it to drop a little bit more, but maybe people are getting a little comfortable with the 9.5s with CGC. However, it doesn't get that gold plating, which people obviously like. And then one more example here. With this Chinese Star V is there's another 10. I don't believe this is a perfect 10. I do believe it's a pristine 10. Let's quickly double check just to be safe. Yeah, it is a pristine 10. So you do have another pristine 10 here that sold for $400. Obviously, that's probably a lot closer. Oh, no, I'm sorry. That's on March. Yeah, that was March. So it's not even close to when Chinese Star V came out. That set came out, I think, almost more than 2 months ago. So it's quite a bit old now. But as you can see, there's a lot of demand for this Japanese card, right? They're selling pretty frequently, right? I would say pretty frequently. We're even going to take a quick look. Let's take a quick look on the market for actually non-sold comps. I'm actually going to pull up a new tab here. Japanese Skyla CGC. I spelled Japanese wrong. Japanese. All right, so you got a 9 for 149, 9.5 for 190. What did the other 9.5 sell for? 180. Okay, maybe that's why the market settled here, because people saw this sell and then they kind of like based their card around that. Well, let's go back to it. Okay, so yeah, I mean 190, 190. Looks like that's about it. That's all the cards on the market. And so even if you got a 9.5, which you can see, which I think is the nice thing to see here, there's no pop reports for CGC, unfortunately, right now, but you can look on eBay and see like what is still here. And as you can see, you're actually seemingly, I know it's a very small sample size. This is not like how you're supposed to conduct surveys or whatever. But there's two 9.5s and one 9, which is a good sign. Also considering that, you know, some of these other cards here, a lot of the ones that sold are the 9.5s. And so that's kind of why like I'm very interested in these cards, these Japanese cards, because I think just the pure fact that you can get these higher grades, even though, keep in mind, Japanese cards, like higher grades in them, are expected to some extent, and so they don't command as much of a premium as English cards tend to do. Now, that's why I'll be honest, I was a bit confused here, because the 9.5 Japanese sold for 180, but the 9.5 English sold for 175, which I genuinely did not, I just don't understand why that's the case. It looks like the guy just kind of wanted to get the card off of his hands because it was a best offer accepted, and he had it listed at 300, which seems relatively reasonable to me. But yeah, there's that. And let's look for one more example before we end off the video. And on top of that, I do want to let you guys know, I know it's towards the end of the video, but if you're still here and you're looking for Pokemon product, like just stuff to open, in the description of this video is going to be a link to one of my friend's stores. He sells Pokemon cards. He has an LGS, a real real brick and mortar. And so he's like super into Pokemon. I've been talking to him a lot, and he even provided me with my last Battle Styles booster box for a video opening. And so if you're looking for some good Pokemon product and you want to pick some stuff up, if you use the code SPEED10 after checking out on his website, you're going to get 10% off, which is obviously a very high amount on some of the more expensive products, right? 10% is a very big margin. As I'm sure a lot of you guys know, if you sell on eBay, 10% really adds up. So yeah, go buy some stuff there, click the link, and yeah, just check out what he has. But okay, let's finish off the video. So, you know, there's a lot of options here. Oh, this is best offer. That's an interesting card. I'll look into these eventually, but even some of these fascinate me, like these Neo Genesis cards. It is an 8.5. It's a bit hard to find these hard comps, but I'm curious to see what like a near mint copy on eBay is selling for. The reason why I like the modern a little bit more than the vintage is the raw cards in vintage tend to go for a bit more from what I've seen, where the modern don't, just because of supply, obviously. Yeah, okay. So let's look that up real quick. Pokemon Japanese Neo Genesis Hallelujah. Gotta get rid of the over 200. Okay. So 100, 135. Obviously, these are like the prices are going to vary a lot when it comes to vintage. With modern, you know, the raw prices are going to stay about the same. With vintage, it's going to vary a lot depending on condition. You know, if someone thinks they can get a 9 or a 9.5, they're going to pick it up. But a card that sells for like $32 is likely to, since there are white spots and scratches, the price is lower than the market price. Yeah, so there you go. You know, this is a card. It's still a beautiful card, but, you know, as the guy said, it's very beat up on the back. You know, you're going to get like a 4 or a 5 max with CGC with a card like that. And so just keep that in mind when you are looking at these prices. But you can always snipe stuff, you know. If you're on your game and you look up like a bunch of these cards, like for instance, we go back to what we were looking at. I'll go back a few tabs. If you go back and you look at a lot of the vintage cards, you have like a set of like 10 or 20 or 30 that you're just checking on eBay, you're checking auctions, you're checking buy it nows. You could probably snipe a few that look like they're in good condition, get them graded, and do pretty well for yourself. So I do think there's a lot of potential in that market as well, which is the vintage side. It just requires, in my opinion, it requires a lot more like focus on auctions and things like that and buy it nows. And I do believe there's a bit more competition as well. That I'm not certain on, obviously. There's no way for me to have the numbers. But all right, we're going to end the video there. I hope you guys enjoyed, and this gives you some inspiration to go check for things as well. I will literally be doing a lot of this stuff, and so obviously I'm going to make update videos on how I'm doing, what I bought, what I sold, and things like that coming up soon. So, yeah, hope to see you guys then, and I'm out. Peace.